let's get into this Lobster back, which is the assessment for Unit Standard 25704, Task 4. You must start each lobster back with a half section at each end. Okay, so let's get into this. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to make a very simple lobster back. We're going to develop out this section. So our lobster back is going to go through 90 degrees. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So you can have, as I said, as many of these middle sections as you like. You just have to keep bisecting the angle. And you've learned how to bisect an angle. So in my case, I've got a piece of pipe. It's 400 millimeters in diameter. There is a 90-degree bend to be made, and they want that radius to the center line of my pipe to be 720 millimeters radius. Okay, obviously that's not going to fit on my piece of A3 paper, so I've selected a scale of 1 to 8. I've done the maths. The pipe OD is 400. To find the mean, I have to take that 400 minus the material thickness. My material thickness is 5 millimeters. So I've taken 5 millimeters off 400. So I have to work out my pattern to 395 millimeters. So the first thing we must do is establish the start and the finish of our pipe. So I'm going to put a baseline down and a vertical line at 90 degrees to the baseline. Now, from this point in the bottom left here, I have to work out where the center of my pipe is. My radius is 720, and if I divide that by 8, that gives me 90 millimeters. That is the center of my pipe. I'm going to draw those center lines in, and of course that will be on the baseline as well. Now I have established the center points of my pipe, one here, one here. Now I have to bisect this 90-degree angle. We know how to bisect angles. Just simply take a measurement with your compass, and without changing it, put a mark on each line, and then we have bisected that angle and basically chopped it in half. Now for a lobster back, we have to bisect that angle once again. Now I've marked this in 3 places, and step it out and bisect that again. You must be accurate at this stage. And let's put a line through there and throw our shit on the floor. Right, so we have established the center line and the 2 cut lines. Okay, so this is the line that goes through the center of the pipe. It will be 90 degrees to the center line. Let's determine the diameter of our pipe. We have worked out the mean diameter to be 395. I've divided that by 8, and I will take my measurement. And using the center, I will form a half circle. That is the diameter of our pipe. And using our drawing board, I can take that diameter to our cut line. This is a 45-degree angle down here, so I can take that to the other cut line, and from this cut line down to this cut line, I can then take them down to the base. And if I want to double check, this here will be exactly the same as the previous circle I've drawn. Okay, so we've maintained the diameter of that pipe through there. These are cut lines. This is a center line. This is at right angles to the center line of the pipe. Let's put that center line in. As you'll see, they meet up. We have now drawn the shape of our pipe. On this half circle here, we must divide that into 6 equal parts, which will relate to 12 equal parts in a full circle. I can divide that up by using my 30-60 degree set square, or by using a radius that is on my compass. And those points are exactly the same. So there's two methods of doing that. Now these points that I've marked are very important, and we're going to transfer those. So we bring those directly over and to the cut line. We want to bring those to the cut line. And then using the 45-degree set square, we want to bring those down through our middle portion. This is the portion we're going to develop out. Now where they meet the cut lines, we have to take those points parallel to the center line. And we'll extend those up further. We need these lines here to develop our pattern, as if this pipe was laid out flat. So first we have to determine the length of our pattern, and that's simply by taking the diameter and multiplying it by pi. So my scaled down pattern length will be 155 millimeters, 0.03. Let's put that in. Let's just put a random line in here. That's the start of my pattern, and I have to measure 155 millimeters, which will take me just to the top of my page. And we'll put that in. That is the end of our pattern. Right, Now we have to divide the total pattern length into 12 equal parts, and I've shown you how to do that on previous videos. If you already know how to do it, please skip ahead. If not, watch and learn one more time. I will do this using a red pen. Now I start from the corner of our pattern and I just place a random line at any random angle out here. Now I know that our total plan length is 155. If I divide that by 12, that will give me a rough idea of how big a spaces I need. So it says 12.9, so I can make this, it doesn't have to be accurate, but it's around about 12. I can make it, let me make it about, I don't know, 13. How's that sound? Yep, about 13 will do. Now I've got to step off. I could make it 15, but this will stay on the page. So I have to step off 12 portions. Now you must be accurate here. Put that point of the compass in exactly the right spot. All of these divisions have to be the same. So take your time and do this accurately. And get 12. Now that we have those 12 points, we have to connect them up. So we started at this point. We now have to find the end of the development, and using two set squares, or a set square and a ruler, I'm going to join the last point here with the last point on our pattern. Holding the bottom set square firmly down, I can slide this up and down. All I'm going to do is transfer these divisions that I've done with the compass on this random line up to the drawing. I'm holding the bottom set square firm. If you move it, just simply go back to the beginning, double check it, yep, that's great, and carry on. Now this is a quick and easy way to divide a line into any number of sections. Now it could be 7, it could be 8, it could be 25, but you will get all of these even. As long as these are spaced evenly, it doesn't matter what the measurement is exactly here, but these will come out as exactly 1/12 in this case of the pattern. Next step. Now all of these points here have to be taken across to this line, and it's very convenient because this line here is at 45 degrees, so let's use our 45-degree set square and take those all the way across. So just for clarity, I'll take these lines out so we don't get confused between the drawing and the pattern. So we're going to develop the pattern out here. Now this is quite simple. Now we can develop it two ways. We can start here where we will have a dip. Now if we have a dip here, it's much harder, especially on thin material, to cut a shape like that out with tin snips, because it goes internal. So what we'll do is we'll start here. There's two reasons for that. We normally have a seam on the shorter side. Now you've got to be careful if you've got a lot of sections in a lobster back, say you've got 4 or 6 of these sections, you can cause stress points. So we can start on any of these lines, as long as what we do up here we do down here. It's exactly the same. So we can move our join around the pipe in case you're worried about stress points. Right, so we're going to start here, and we just come along and up one, along and up one, along and up one, along and up one, long and up one, long and up one. Now we can check we're doing things right because we can start off at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 is in the middle, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 is at the end. So we've come up to 6, we know we're right because we can't go any higher, so we'll start coming along and down one, 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 and along and down one. Starting here and doing exactly the same, along and up one, along and up one. And we should end up at number 6 and along. We now have our pattern points marked. We know the start and finish, so let's put the straight lines in. So this is the start at one end, and here's the other end up here. Let's put that line in nice and dark. The rest of our pattern is curved, and I'll use some French curves for that. And French curves, the secret with French curves is to make sure 3 points are touching. And there we have the pattern developed out for this lobster back section using the parallel line method. Thank you for watching, and make sure you keep an eye out for task 5 coming up soon.